We all know Hoka as the go-to brand for ultra-cushioned, high-performance running shoes. But what if that legendary comfort is quietly leading to their downfall? They took over the running world with their cloud-like cushioning and bold designs. But is Hoka's biggest strength also its greatest weakness? Beneath the hype, cracks are starting to show, and the very features that made them a favorite might be the ones that bring them down. So, is Hoka on the brink of a downfall? Let's find out. But before we get into the future downfall of Hoka, let's take a step back, literally, and see how this brand managed to shake up the sneaker world in the first place. Now imagine this. It's the late 2000s and the running world is obsessed with minimalist shoes. Thin, barely there soles were all the rage. Runners wanted to feel every tiny rock and crack in the pavement. But two French guys, Nicolas Mermoud and Jean-Luc Diard, looked at this trend and thought, yeah, no thanks. These guys were former Salomon employees with a background in mountain running and adventure racing. And if you've ever tried running downhill on rocky French terrain, you'd know that minimalist shoes aren't exactly your best friend. So they came up with a crazy idea. What if running shoes had more cushioning instead of less? Now, at the time, this was like walking into a gluten-free bakery and asking for a triple-stacked cheeseburger. People weren't ready for it. But Mermoud and Diard had a vision. They looked at other sports, mountain biking, skiing, and realized that bigger actually meant better. Bikes had bigger tires for smoother rides. Skis were getting wider for better stability. So why not apply the same logic to running shoes? And that's exactly what they did. Hoka shoes were born. Chunky, oversized, and unlike anything the market had ever seen. But let's be honest, at first, they looked ridiculous. People called them clown shoes, moon boots, and probably a few other things we can't say on YouTube. And well, from this revolutionary concept, the brand was born. They named it Hoka One One, a Maori phrase that roughly translates to fly over the earth. Though let's be honest, most people just call it Hoka because no one wants to butcher the pronunciation. The first ever Hoka shoe, the Mafate, hit the market, and surprisingly, runners loved it. The oversized midsoles provided insane cushioning, and the rocker design made runners feel like they were rolling forward effortlessly. And get this, despite looking like mini hovercrafts, Hoka shoes were light. Their secret? A super lightweight foam that gave max cushioning without turning your feet into cinder blocks. Elite runners started taking notice. Even former marathon world champion Mark Plotches was so impressed that he ordered 770 pairs for his store. No, you didn't hear that wrong. 770 pairs. You don't buy that many unless you know something big is happening. And then in 2012, the real game changer happened. Deckers brand swooped in and bought Hoka. If that name sounds familiar, it's because these are the same folks behind UGG boots. Under Deckers' wing, Hoka exploded. Sales skyrocketed. By 2022, Hoka raked in over $1 billion in revenue, making up nearly 40% of Deckers' total earnings. Not bad for a brand that once looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. So what made Hoka such a hit? Simple. They gave runners what they didn't even know they needed. Ultra cushioning. Say goodbye to sore feet. Rocking motion, like a wheel for your foot, helping you run smoother. Injury prevention. Podiatrists loved them. Doctors started recommending them to patients with foot pain. And a wider audience. Unlike other brands that focus just on hardcore athletes, Hoka welcomed everyone. Whether you were an ultramarathoner, a casual jogger, an overweight runner, or someone just looking for comfy walking shoes, Hoka had you covered. But here's the million-dollar question. Was Hoka's success too good to last? Because as history shows, when a brand gets too big, too fast, cracks start to appear. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. Could the very things that made Hoka successful be the same things that bring them down? Well, let's turn our focus to when Hoka decided to shake things up at the top. They brought in Robin Green, a former Nike executive with nearly 2 decades of experience in running and fitness. Sounds like a smart move, right? After all, if you want to keep growing, why not hire someone from the biggest sports brand on the planet? But here's the twist. Nike has been struggling in the running category for years. So, is Hoka getting a game changer or inheriting problems Nike never managed to fix? Green steps into her new role at a crucial time. Hoka's sales were up by nearly 22% in the last quarter alone, raking in a solid $429 million. And let's not forget, they even bagged the Brand of the Year award. Clearly, they've been on fire. But when you're at the top, every competitor wants a piece of you. And Hoka isn't just battling Nike. Brands like On Running, Brooks, and even Saucony are all eyeing the same ground. Now here's where things get interesting. Unlike Nike, which has been cutting wholesale partnerships and relying on cheaper running shoes, Hoka thrives in the premium category. Their newest release, the Cielo X1 Marathon shoe, sells for a jaw-dropping $275. And guess what? It's already selling out. Nearly 17,000 people checked it out online in just 24 hours. Now that's some serious brand loyalty. But can they keep it up? Well, not so fast, because there's been some controversy stirring up. Let's dissect. Alright, so here's the thing. Hoka, known for its super cushion running shoes, has been all the rage among runners lately. It's the shoe that promises comfort, support, and the ability to make you feel like you're running on clouds. Sounds good, right? Who wouldn't want that kind of comfort while pounding the pavement? But hold on, let's dive a bit deeper. First off, let's talk about the design. Now, don't get me wrong, Hoka shoes are undeniably innovative. Their thick midsoles provide incredible cushioning, but here's the thing, this can sometimes compromise stability, making them feel a bit wobbly, especially during quick side-to-side movements. Durability is another concern. The soft midsoles wear out faster than traditional running shoes, meaning you might need to replace them more often. Plus, their bulky design adds extra weight, which could slow you down on long runs. And if you're into trail running or off-road adventures, Hoka's might not be the best choice, as they're mainly built for road running and lack the necessary grip. Social media is also filled with comments like, "Hoka shoes make my feet feel like clouds, but my dignity takes a hit every time I wear them." And "I love my Hokas, but do I love being seen in them? That's a different story." So what's going on? Are they actually practical, or are they just a fashion statement? Now, speaking of comfort, yes, the cushioning is next level, but that doesn't mean they're perfect for everyone. And while they look like they're the great fix for some feet, some research says that they might actually be doing more harm than good. Plot twist! I know, you're thinking, how could they possibly be bad? Aren't they supposed to save us from the wrath of bad feet and bad posture? Well, hold on to your running shorts, because according to the Spalding National Running Center, highly cushioned shoes, like the ones Hoka offers, are not linked to lower levels of impact than traditional running shoes. What? That's right. Those big cushioned shoes that promise to protect you from everything, turns out they might not be as magical as we thought. Dr. Irene S. Davis, PhD, PT, a professor in the Department of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, says something pretty mind-blowing. She claims that cushioning actually lulls you into thinking you can slam your foot into the ground. Ouch. So in other words, the shoes make you feel like you're walking on air, but in reality, you're landing harder than you think. That soft, plush feeling might be encouraging you to land with more force, which increases your chances of injury. So yeah, those soft clouds of cushioning might actually be your enemy when it comes to staying injury-free. Not exactly the superhero you were hoping for, huh? But here's where the Hoka debate gets even more interesting. Despite all the cushioning and soft landing promises, some runners still swear by them. People with joint pain, plantar fasciitis, or those who've been through a few too many injuries might find a bit of relief in Hoka shoes. The cushioning can reduce fatigue and provide comfort, especially on longer runs. So for some, they're a game changer, but for others, it's a whole different story. Beyond the design debates and the questionable science, Hoka faces another massive challenge: staying in its lane. Unlike Nike, Adidas, or even New Balance, which have diversified into everything from basketball to casual streetwear, Hoka is still mainly seen as a running brand. If you're not a runner, what's your reason to buy a pair? The competition is fierce. Brands like On Running and others are offering stylish, everyday sneakers that people want to wear beyond just their morning jog. If Hoka doesn't expand beyond its niche, it risks becoming a one-trick pony in an industry where versatility is key. Also, here's a thought. Hoka's been making big strides in innovation. They've got breathable uppers, and some models even include carbon plate technology. They're pushing the envelope, trying to stand out. But if all they offer are shoes that feel like wearing giant marshmallows on your feet, will they be able to keep up with the competition? Look, at the end of the day, the real question isn't just about how cushioned a shoe is or whether it has carbon plates. It's about whether or not the shoe works for you. Sure, Hoka shoes might have set some world records, but that doesn't mean they're for everyone. It's like that one friend who swears by a product they just know is the best, but when you try it, it's just not your vibe. So what's next? Will Hoka double down on its die-hard running fan base? Or will Green take a risk and expand into new markets? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Hoka's got some serious decisions to make, and if they don't play their cards right, they might just get left in the dust. What do you think? Is the future of Hoka shoes really as cushioned and cloud-like as they promise? Or are they heading for a downfall? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe to our channel for more.